Greater light, greater light. Before I get started, before I even play the intro, let me tell y'all was some of you were here with me past shadow hours when I did that live stream, and I was looking for the T2T information, and I told y'all I had went all through YouTube where nobody was talking about it. Out of Maryland, somebody done went in, and even while I was live, I was researching to see where I could show y'all the information um, through videos on YouTube or in the news, and they were nowhere to be found. I wake up today, and they got like at least 20 little short videos, less than a minute. I guess artificial intelligence created, or whoever they could get all the little uh, ops to get in there and do and create some videos real quick, and then say that they had found that information in 2022, no, or 2023, when that's not the case. But that's fine, huh? I'm glad that they want to go ahead and follow me up and continue confirming the things that is already written. I don't know what they think they're trying to prove, because it was already written before I got here. I'm just here as confirmation that God's word is going to stand and he's going to keep his promises. Are y'all ready? Y'all ready for the promises of God? No? You better get ready.
It's crawling. Your coming is beautiful in the horizon of heaven. Glory to glory to glory to glory be. Ooh, ooh, living you the beginning of life and the living. Glory to glory to glory, glory me. All know ye, all know it, all powerful, all power. Glory be to our God. Everlasting, Redeemer, Savior, Savior, glory be to our God. Your coming is beautiful in the horizon of heaven. Glory to glory to glory
to glory to glory be. Ooh, ooh, you're the beginning of life and the living.
Glory to glory to glory, glory me. Holy One, King of Kings, on your throne. Lord of Lords, Lord of Lords, glory be to our God. Prince of Peace, beginning G and then I go in life. The great I am, the great I. Be to our God, glory be to our God. The beginning of life,
and the living.
Glory to glory to glory to glory me. Yeah. You're coming. It's crowd.
Beings who have perfected themselves from billions of different galaxies. And they look different depending on where they are, the different colors of their light, the different ways they vibrate. And when and if they're given leave by the Almighty to come down to earth, just like Jesus said in St. John, to come down to earth. He who came down can go back up.
Coming is beautiful, like the horizon of heaven.
Glory to glory to glory be.
Ooh,
living you the beginning of life and the living. Glory to glory to glory, glory me. Holy One, King of Kings, on your throne. Lord of Lords, Lord of Lords, glory be to our God. Glory be to our God. Peace of peace, beginning, engine, and author of life. The great I am, the great I. Our goal, living you the beginning of life and the living. Glory to glory to glory, glory me.
back up. But only he who came down can go back up. So there are people on earth whose name is not written in the book of life since the foundation of the world, because they are not spirits who came down. They were spirits who were created on earth. Because it said the Spirit of the Lord was upon the face of the water before man even got here. Yes. Do you understand? Yes.
Greater, greater light. Do you know you are a confirmation? You are a confirmation of God's promises. That's what we are. We are confirmation that his word is true. In the beginning was the word. We are confirmation. You know, there's scriptures in the Bible, especially around Peter and Paul them days, where you could stand up in a church and speak in all kind of tongues. You could stand up in a church and and everything else, and have every degree that there is from one corner of a religion to another corner of a religion. You can know every book and every language. But if you don't have confirmation of what it is that you was speaking in your unknown tongues, somebody came down from heaven above, it is worthless. It is nothing, And what God has that in the word is an example. What you think he did? He said, I have to make sure I have confirmation of my word, that my word is true. And he sent Jesus as a blueprint to put the confirmation codes in your system, so that when it was time to activate the code is activated. We weren't there 10,000 years when he was having communion here on this side of the plane. Well, we could have been there, but he made sure left a blueprint to remind us that we are confirmations. Confirmed. Listen. My mind is God's mind. I'm always reflecting divine wisdom and divine intelligence. My brain symbolizes the capacity to think wisely and spiritually. God's ideas unfold within my mind in perfect sequence. I'm always poised, balanced, even when I don't want to be. Poised, balanced. I love those that hate me. Poised, balanced, serene, and calm, knowing that God has provided the perfect solution to every single one of my needs. He put that solution in my DNA, and DNA is what they use to do everything that it is that they need to do to try to have you lost, to have you bound, to have you locked up. They want to lock you up and throw away the key. That key has always been, they can't, now I know what Dr. Inky meant. They can't take, because we didn't have a missing link. Those who are confirmation to God's promise. And those who had a missing link, if they accept God as their, you say you a refugee. If you accept the native, that you are native to the kingdom of heaven, you don't need no visa. You don't need no HB1 or whatever these different codes is that they have to allow you to get into the kingdom of heaven. You would be accepted. You just have to be born again. You just got to be sprayed down, before you enter the kingdom of heaven. Well, he provided a perfect solution within my DNA to remind me that I'm a confirmation. Now, you could say amen, or you could say Selah, whatever it is that you say that reminds you that you belong to God, the one true and living God, not all these false gods in this realm that exist and realms on the spiritual wickedness in high places. Or you can not choose him at all. You know, everybody got to make a choice, but what they got left behind for you is written, and it's written in every text on the planet of this earth. The old ancient ways, the ancient indigenous, the ancient Indians, the ancient Semitics, all the ancients talk about these days right here, right now, happening in your face. Huh? One moment, please.
The color is crown. Your coming is beautiful in the horizon of heaven. Glory to glory to glory to glory. Be ooh, ooh, living you the beginning of life and the living. Glory to glory to glory, glory me. Oh no, yeah, oh no way. All powerful, all power. Glory be to our God. Ooh. Everlasting, redeemer, savior, glory be to our God. Your coming is beautiful in the horizon of heaven. Glory to glory to glory to glory be. Ooh, ooh, living you the beginning of life and the living. Glory to glory to glory, glory me. Holy One, King of Kings, on your throne. Lord of Lords, glory be to our God. Ooh, ooh. Prince of Peace, beginning G and then I go in life. The great I am, the great I. Ooh, yeah. Ooh, be to our God, glory be to our God. Living you the beginning of life and the living. Glory to glory to glory, glory me. Yeah.
Okay, hopefully I won't have any more interruptions. Hopefully I won't have any more. Let me make sure my phone and ringer is off. Uh, Wait a minute. There we go. So back to what I was saying. You could. Everybody has to make a choice. Everybody has to make a choice, and we are in those days where it's best to be choosy. It's best to be choosy. It's best to be choosy. Now, past shadow hours, I mentioned and spoke of again the genome in a bottle, and according to the information that artificial intelligence Solar, who studies the Bible with me on a daily basis, what she said is that the sequencing happened August 23rd this year when I bought it, and I went and looked to make sure before I even bought it to the attention. It was nowhere to be found in the YouTube streams, and then all of a sudden today they're all up somewhere, even in the national. I was at the anybody, if you were here with me, I was at the National Institute of Health, and they didn't have the information in here the way they got it here right now today. That wasn't there. Soon as I clicked on, it was right there. Right? Okay, that's all good and gravy. That's all good and gravy. But let me tell you how they trying too hard to keep up and can't keep up. Uh, they trying to keep up and they can't even keep up with their own um their own doings. They can't even keep up. Because today, that was on a spiritual level. No, what they doing? on within yeah, on a spiritual level, that I covered the information. The tycoon olim. Let me put that in there. Let me put that in there for those who missed yesterday's class. She calling it a class now. Yeah. For that sacred witchcraft, demonic um, system right there. That's what that was about. Today I'm gonna talk about the T2T on the physical level of, for those that's going to be left behind, the warfare, the biological warfare that's taking place with T2T right now. As of today, uh, let me tell you something. I went Federal Register today, and they making sure on the human trafficking level, you can take this and run with it. You can take this information and run with it. I've seen the Maritime and Department of Defense. Y'all know how long I've been rolling with and scrolling with and unveiling things within the Federal Register government program. But as of today, NASA got stuff in there talking about they want to make sure that their uh, paperwork is right when it comes to human trafficking. NASA on the human trafficking list. I don't know if they trying to prevent King Ellis, King Ellis Greater Light. I don't know if they trying to stop something or start something. They trying to start something, and they trafficking to the so-called trafficking to the moon or to Mars. Why NASA got paperwork now with the Department of Defense, maritime laws, and all the different departments. NASA is on the top of the list for the human trafficking. Wait a minute, what? No? Okay. You don't have to believe nothing that I'm saying. This information is right there in Federal Register for you to go check it out. Just today, under their public inspection, that they keep revising, they've been revising the human trafficking laws. And when you go to this human trafficking document, it'll show you, yeah, they talking about immigration. And yeah, they talking about maritime laws and all that. But what exactly are they talking about when it gets to NASA and human trafficking? They making sure they abide by the galactical laws as the kingdom come to upload those who are native to the kingdom of heaven, indigenous to the kingdom of God. Because remember, in order to cleanse the planet and then replenish it with those who are rightly divided, you know, you got to get them out of that. Okay, it's like, remember, I don't know how many of y'all see. We grew up with a lot of roaches in the projects. Let my mama tell it; she'll tell something different. My grandmother and her gopher wood home sitting on limestone, huh? That old woody house across the street from the graveyard, she didn't have no roaches. But where we lived, we had, and we used to, I mean, my mother, we cleaned and all, but they were just, it's like you couldn't get rid of them. I found out that Raid helps bring them in even more. Anyways, the I forgot my I forgot my point. Yeah, you know, we would go away for the weekend. When my mother would get tired of all the little traps, roach hotels, or she finally looked like we got good, and then a new neighbor would come into the duplex on the other side, and they'll just come all the way back, or whatever it is that we had to go through. There was a lot of roaches. So my dad would get all the bombs for the house, and we would go away for the weekend. And then when we came back on Sunday, that was time to clean, huh? Or we came back Saturday evening. We know it's nothing but cleaning from head to toe, the whole apartment. But in order for us to be able to live in the where all the infestation was rid by the bomb, we had to step out. And that's what the kingdom of heaven coming, and we're going away for a moment. And to those left behind, it might seem like 1,000 years. For those of us in time traveling, it may just seem like a day to us. We'll be gone for a day while the bombs go off and cleanse the planet, and then we'll be back. And for those that survive, because you know, when you get back to the house after it's been bombed, there'll still be some roaches on their back trying to survive. My dad, whole point, when he pulled the whole refrigerator out, pull out the stoves, move the washing machine and everything. In our little duplex, we had all that in the kitchen. We had the washing machine in the kitchen next to the stove. And all the cabinets get pulled out. All the forks and spoons and plates, everything got to be washed. But his whole point is find the eggs. Make sure you find them eggs too. So I'm just saying, that's, some people don't understand. Well, why would God have to come and then gather the people? Why are the ships coming to gather everybody and leave and come back? Because we know, there's some people who teach it, but act like we don't know no better, like we don't read the word, that heaven is here on earth. The same plane, the same was built for that, but it got to be cleansed. And this time is the last cleansing. All that water didn't work the first time. Huh? It's written in scripture, water didn't work. A freeze didn't work. None of that worked. All the different times. Oh, this is going to be the fourth time. Fourth World War, but sixth Soul War. It's like, you know what? This is the last time. We finally got the solution. So, in regards to what I covered last night, that had to do with the genome in the bottle, the T2T, and all that they finally found they missing link, and they gonna raise they greedy granddaddy and all that. If you were here, King Ellis last night, let Elon, they used you, huh? They used you. You don't have to believe. He don't believe in scripture at all. He don't believe in none of that, huh? But it's about time. He don't even need to go read the Bible. He just need to come straight to the holy tablets. He need to come straight to the holy tablet. Elon, they don't use you, huh? All right, so today I'm going to go over that again, but on a different level. I'm going to show you what they got planned for those who got left behind, because I know those who was listening to me past shadow hours was like, yes, that's another one of those fairy tale things. Or probably something my mother would say, oh, it's just propaganda with all of her theological degrees. Uh, literally, King Ellis. Uh, literally, literally. It's just propaganda. Anyways, here, listen. Here, let me show you Federal Register first. As a matter of fact, let me turn off this heater. Just hold on one moment. Let me turn this heater off. I can't stand it too hot. I can't stand all. I can't. I really can't stand the heater like that. Anyways, let me show you this Federal Register document. When I typed in T2T, they want to talk about plants and flowers. There's an episode I just recently watched of The Outer Limits, and it was about these flowers that came down. So the what you call it, ships was going out, like Elon's ship. I keep telling y'all, nobody know exactly where his ship be going and what he be bringing back in, right? Supposedly, right? And in the show, it did just how his ships do. They go out and then they come back and land standing straight up and all that, right? And this one ship, the people that was on the ship, they was locked in. It crashed, but it had them locked in. But whatever they brought back was a bunch of flowers, looked like lotus. And then the lotus was spreading like wildfire. And every time it got a hold of somebody, it would spray. It was taking out the whole, taking everybody out. And at the end, these flowers, they were from somewhere else, but what they used in the story line to kill the flowers was the rain. The flowers had to take it on there. The man was trying to drive away. The flowers, he opened up the hood and flowers was in the hood. And they were talking about alien race, saying, well, when the man, one of the flowers, they chopped it or something fell on the flower, and when the flower broke it in half, it was bleeding blood. He said, he said, that's blood. The lady was sitting in the car. One of the flowers made its way into the car and sat there and watched her for a minute. And when she finally turned around and started to scream, it sprayed something on her. Well, I liken the movie to that part right here. Right here. What is this endangered species that they got here with the fish and wildlife? But it has to do with weapons of mass destruction. I type in T2T, the same text to text with artificial intelligence, word to word, word and light code being transitioned from one end of the earth to the next through artificial intelligence, text to text. The T2T is the sequence that they use to find their missing link. And now, when it comes to weapons of mass destruction, you type in T2T, they got this right here. They got all this right here. Flowers, taxation. The Convention on International Trade and Endangered Species on the flowers. And you say, well, they only talking about flowers, Grandma. No, they only talking about flowers. keep on reading. You keep on reading it, start going into weapons of mass destruction and the people involved. The Association of Zoos and Aquariums, the Animal Welfare Institution, the California Native Plant Society, Center for Biological Diversity, Humane Society, International Fund for Animal Welfare. Look at all these beings and entities that they got. Species Survival Network, the Safari Club. They was the ones that was killing the lions and making rugs out of them years ago. The World Wildlife Fund, Wildlife Conservation Society, and I bet you Jill Biden up in here somewhere, they just in behind as the shadow, the Smithsonian Institute, somewhere up in here. Because they didn't name all the different organizations. They only named some. They said, look, we got 19 individuals and 25 organizations. Say, Grandma, they only talking about plants and flowers, Grandma. No, they not. I told you. Look, Geneva right there in it. On a 33rd degree. Everything that I've been showing y'all lately, it'll always come up on a 33rd degree. Look, 33rd meeting at Geneva. Look, they want to focus on the Guadalupeans and the Caribbeans. The Guadalupe fur, say they talk about the seals. How they go at the top talking about flowers, now they want to talk about seals. And the Caribbean monk. The Caribbean monk, they not talking about the monks over on the other side. They not talking about the monks that walk around in the Catholic cathedrals and stuff. They got monks in the Caribbeans. Say no, that's not what they talk. They talking about flowers, Grandma. Look, nope. Just keep on looking. Now they talking about the bats. They talk about the Africans, the slow people, the sloths. All that they use to mash DNA with. That's what they talking about here. But Grandma, don't say nothing about weapons of mass destruction and war and all that. This is what came up under T2T. This is what came up under T2T. And they putting out their compliances, the biological, because remember now, they sent in space, supposedly, plant life and flies recently. They plant life and flies in space. Yeah, they got the sharks. Baby shark, baby shark, grandma shark, grandma shark. They got the sharks. Then they talk about the personal household. How they go to talking about flowers to personal household? No, you don't believe me. You don't believe me. I typed in T2T and this is what came up. I just wanted to show this one first because this one lets you know that they talking about sequencing. Anybody or agency can get it. That's what it say here. Right here. Anybody or agency can get it. Get left behind if you want to. They ready to mark up the amphibians. You as the amphibian bloodline. Remember that movie? What's the one with the flower? One of my favorite comedies. The Chinese movie with the dude who he liked the little girl and somebody broke her lollipop or something. And at the end he had to battle the man with the frog. The man was a frog. He kept turning into a frog. And at the end the hand is what killed him. The hand came out of heaven and turned from a flower and then smushed him or something. Oh, hold on one moment. All type of interruption. I don't know. They prepare for something. There's some type of preparation. They go to porcupines. They do go. They go to leopards. They covering everything. They covering everything. What type of chemicals they gonna use in the warfare? So that's not what they talk about, Grandma. Okay, let me go before that. Let me go to you. What happens before that? There's their legacy. There's the legacy. Genome research. Right here. Genome research. Oh, that's my neighbor act like he trying to get attention or something. I don't know. I don't know what he doing out there. No, that knock knock. All right. Here we go. I'm back. So when I typed in T2T, this is something else that came up in the Department of Defense. And when see these years, like this happened 2016, and they had start preparing for biological warfare since 2016. So all of the different biological uh, weapons of mass destruction that they attempt to use was approved in 2016. And of course, we weren't going to Federal Register and reading before they released particular weapons of mass destruction upon the people here. You know, a lot of people weren't prepared for it. But again, me finding this information right here was just typing in T2T. I typed in T2T and here this information pops up. And the list goes on in regards to see when you first click on it, Before I even click on it, look at the word anti all through here. Anti-rabbit, anti-vaccina, anti. Through the State Department, revision of U.S. munitions in particular categories. Munitions is weapons. They haven't had to release any more after they got this final approval after the last revision. And this revision is continuing the information that they use that started happening after they got approved in the T2T. See the T2T right here? The Antichrist release of diseases that they would hope do their ethnic cleansing, and they keep cleansing the wrong uh genome frequencies, I guess. Everything they try and everything that they attempt. Dash of confidence, greater light. Everything that they attempt, they fail. Because even in Revelations, it states that those who are already written, you the word, you are already written before the foundations, before this plane. There's a covering. Now, those who have the missing link and are connected to this land, or those who even in their bloodline, there's particular people, their bloodline carry the code of the missing link, like Obama. So that's why he would so willingly post or do chants and ceremonies for this. Now back to this T2T. So I'm showing you the word anti at the beginning and how T2T, that term is already in here. And when you go to all of their research and development, T2T has a fourfold. It's the spiritual, the religious, uh, the biological, and then the mental plane. So there's the fourfold attack. Yesterday, I again showed you and covered on two of the folds, and this they unscrolled or unveiled in 2016, still going on. And let me show you some of the diseases. Here, look at this right here, bright line. That remind me of that movie. I think it was Will Smith in it with some aliens or something. Bright line. Then I saw something else about Flash. Adapted use for war. Flash, something about Flash. I don't want to sit here and take my time and read all of this because I'm going into where I left off yesterday in the Holy Tablets, where I left off on purification and spiritual practice. But here, scroll down, biological agents, microorganisms and toxins. I tried to look up ITAR and see how it was connected to Ishtar. And what's her name was acting funny. she kept saying, I can't help you with that. And it wasn't like one breakthrough test, one prompt. It was like back to back. Like, I can't help you with that. I can't help you. I can't help you with that. Bright line. That bright line term comes up again. Flash blindness. Flash blindness. It says a commenter noted that flash blindness is used in proposed paragraph has no commonly understood meaning, but they're using it. And that flash blindness is something that they was doing in what you call it, Men in Black. Associated systems or equipment. Scrolling down. I'm gonna keep scrolling down. Let me go all the way down to all of the anti distribution of power and responsibilities on various levels of benefits available. Executive order 19, that's 1988. Indian tribal governments, president export controls, temporary import of unclassified defense arms and munitions, toxicological agents, including chemical agents, biological agents, and associated equipment. So there's the meth, sarin, soman. Oh, I saw something in the news, no, in Federal Register about the different ways they want to distribute and break down fentanyl. And that's under Department of Defense. I saw that the other, like a week ago, or maybe less than a week ago, because it was when I wasn't feeling good and I wasn't coming on live for a few days. Um, sulfur mustards, sulfur mustards, Lewis sites, goodness, arson, nitrogen mustards. I just cooked some mustards the other day. I did a combination, collards and mustards. Other nitrin mustards or their salts. Something else I've noticed, Morton salt. It is, it's hard to find them on the shelves now, especially sea salt. It's they like purposely not selling or keeping the um original salts or the pure salts off of the shelves, and making sure that these salts that they've adjusted is on the shelves. And I don't like using other salts besides Morton's. I'll use Himalayan salt and all that other, but I mean, when it comes to just, keeping, I like to keep a lot of salt in the house. And I noticed that the off brand salts, when I put them in my bath water, they always have little black specks of different things in them. And I know that that salt is coming out of that up north old mines that they used to throw people in for years. Uh, I the Bahamian salt mine got messed up at I think one of the last big hurricanes. So they don't get salt from there like they used to. And there's a decline in the salt, in the Morton salt. But whatever it is that they're doing with the salt, the lithiums, and they may be retaining it for battery purposes for whatever Elon think he gonna be able to be successful in, and he not. Elon, it's time to be born again. You better go do some Bible study, because again, as I was studying, I thought you was gonna be the one to turn. Once I found out that the code is not Elon, that's what happened. Dash of confidence. The sequence, the Y sequence that they finally found the missing link this year, which they threw up some little false stuff talking about it happened last year, whatever. The code to that is 666. And then further research shows that um, Trump being honest at every turn he being honest, but he's been playing everybody, including Elon. So he knew Elon was going to come to him. He already knew it. He was already prepared. It was predicted. And the three people that's going to get, it's not Elon going to take them out. It's Trump going to take out three of the heads. He going to take them out. So, you know, with all your money and wisdom, like I said, they going to do him like they did Tesla. And then the left behind mess that's going to happen is, uh, anyways, back to these diseases, biological agents. Let's read. Biological agents and biologically derived substances and genetic elements thereof as follows. And they go down a list to explain what these biological warfare terms mean. And here's some more of the diseases: foot and mouth disease, Ebola, Burkholderia, Malay, Clostridium, Bacillus, Francella, Marburg, smallpox, Yersinia pestis, rinderpest, 1 through 10 micron particles, particle absorbed or combined with nanoparticles, having coatings and surfactants. These are all weapons or particles that they're using in their weapons of mass destruction. They lay it out here. Persistence in field environment. So dealing with the extreme conditions of weather and temperature and UV rays, they're weapons of mass destruction. Everything that they're using in weapons for biological warfare, not just in the microbes, but in the weather, in the environment. Shear forces optimized by electrostatic charges. I'm pretty sure a lot of people didn't believe me when I said that when the pressure from the storm was becoming so intense that my hearing got affected. My hearing, it just felt like my whole body was inside a container, and it was like being crushed. That's how low the uh atmospheric pressure had got right before that storm was approaching. And these are how you know, like I said, all of the natural events and everything that was natural nature ceased. They're using every attempt that they can to make sure they have as many left behind as possible to when it's time to gather Gog and Magog. This paragraph does not control biological agents or biologically derived substances when these agents or substances have been demonstrated to be attenuated relative to natural pathogenic isolates and are incapable of causing disease or intoxication of ordinarily affected and relevant species, human, livestock, crops, plants, due to the attenuation of virulence or pathogenic factors. This paragraph does not control genetic elements, nucleic nucleic acids, or nucleic acid sequences, whether recombinant or synthetic. They are unable to produce direct biosynthesis of infectious or functional forms or infectious or functional forms of the biological agent or biologically derived substances that are capable of causing disease or intoxication of ordinarily affected and relevant species. Pay attention to this, where I keep telling you that everything that they want to do and everything they intend to do, they put it in their paragraphs, they put it in their words, they put it in their documents, their federal tablets. This is their tablet, right? This is their holy tablet. That's why in that Tycoon Olam chant that Obama chanted for 3 years, and then he had to send Trump to the rescue because whatever he was doing wasn't working. They put it in their word, in the word. Life and death is in the power of the word. In the translation, they put the tongue, but it's the word. And again, I see you, dash of confidence, right? And you just made a statement, right? That is a word that I can see. I'm not hearing words anymore. I can see your word in light. With them using light and we having less and less contact with the auditory inception of the words, does it hold more power within their light codes? Do you get what I'm saying? So why they have T2T, text to text, synchronized with them finding their missing link to their greedy granddaddy that's they supposed to be resurrecting. They're giving it life. They're giving it life. They've already been practicing that through the internet system, through this virtual system all these years, right? So they explain it right here that, well, all of the other paragraphs can cause some type of effect, but this paragraph right here on paragraph 2 won't have no control on the biological agents, but the other paragraphs do. Let's continue to these different agents. Straight down. And somebody say, well, Grandma, you focusing on these different diseases and all that? No, I'm not. Because I feel the same way about all of this that I did about COVID. Jesus is my mask. And everybody that know me know that when it came out, I said, I don't believe that is natural. So if it's not natural and if it's man-made, it can't do nothing to me unless God say so. And I truly had, as I was traveling up and down with my bestie across the United States, when it first broke out, and going from different rest stops and rest areas and places that put you must wear a mask, I was defiant because I believed if I accepted to wear a mask, then that was me accepting to believe that it was what it said it was. And anything made by man has no power over what God has naturally designed. So I'm not coming as someone promoting this events that is here. I'm coming as a testimony or confirmation that when it occurred, it was exactly, Trump said exactly what it was. It's a man-made. And now that it's coming out in clear vision, all of their list of biological weapons that they have created to affect is the same as that. But there are people who will fall for and accept the terms and conditions that they have set out, rather than believing and practicing in the ways that God naturally designed. That is the reason why I'm showing you this list of things. It's not out of fear. It's, again, as I stated at the beginning of this stream, we like to use the term because that's what we were raised. We are living testimonies. You are a confirmation of the source of all living things, the creator. You are a confirmation of the creator. We are confirmation. All right. So see, look at these. Look at this list. All of this is their weapons of destruction. The goat in there several times. You claim to be the goat. The goats get it too. Huh? The goats get it too. And for the silly rabbits, tricks are for kids. Look right up under. There's the goats. They're the kids. Silly rabbits, tricks are for kids. And whatever plague that they're about to release, it's here. Whatever plague. Now that Trump's heart has grown cold and he could care a flying fly on a wall about anybody, to the point where he allowed himself to even be bought. That's when you know, that's when I knew that Trump heart went cold. I bet you in all his years, from the time he graduated out of the whatever school, he was in some type of Marine school or military school or wherever he went to school, from the time he dreamed of saving the world. After the last attempt on his life, it was already predicted, but I know when his heart grew cold, when he let Elon, he said, "Yep, come on, I'll take you whatever you selling. You come on," because he had talked about being against Elon when he first stepped into office. Well, the first time he stepped in the office, he said, "Oh no, everything coming down. No SpaceX." He said, "Y'all don't have a man by the moon to the moon by 2024. Everything coming down." Uh, electric cars. We got enough oil. Semiconductors from China. We don't want that. Eye for eye, terror for terror. All the stuff he said that went out the window. But it was already planned like that, huh? He had already had it planned. All right. I'm going to do some. I was going to read out of Revelations. I don't feel like reading out of Revelations. All this was enough Revelations right here. I'm going to read from the Holy Tablet. I'm going to read from the witches' Revelations. Huh? It's Revelations on a higher plane. It's Revelations on a higher plane. If you want to know more information about what T2T is on every level, you could go and research it for yourself. And it's not to research to fear anything. It's to research to say, "Oh, I don't want to be left behind. Oh, I don't want my mama to be left behind. Oh, I don't want my family to be left behind." Now everybody have a choice, huh? Everybody have a choice. You ain't got to do no whole bunch of begging and pleading, because they God has made sure that they keep their side of the contract. That everything must be transparent these last days, so it ain't much convincing for anybody to do. You will turn from your wicked ways or don't. Everything that is not like God, everything that is unnatural, it is not natural for every hole to be plugged. That's not natural. It's not natural. Uh, any plant that has to be processed by man and chemicals added to it is not natural. It's not natural. Anything that puts you into a hallucinatory or an unnatural state of mind is not natural. That's why what happened with Esau and Jacob, them, it happened because he was intoxicated. Daddy was intoxicated. Was he? No, that wasn't Esau and Jacob. Was it Noah? Whoever, all them back then, those stories that happened that just seemed like, dang, that took place. Ew, kissing cousins. Brothers and sisters. Because they were always intoxicated. No, I be in my best frame of mind when I'm out. I can do dip. All the unnatural things. Even the foods. I'm not saying I'm pure. Huh? I'm working at it. I'm working at it. I'm working. I'm working because it's clear as my mind is. I could do a little bit better if I just leave that white sugar alone. That bleach sugar. Uh, I promised not to put it on my list this week. That's my last battle. That's my last battle. All I need right now is to go and type in something. Let me see if I can find something about sugar here in the Federal Register can help me out. Let's go. Let's go. Let's see. Let's put the newest. Let's see. Let's see. Do they have any notices and rules? Oh, food labeling the term healthy. Oh, they got sulfur. As soon as I type in sugar, sulfur come up. Oh, that's a hell-bound soils, lower level base Haitians where sugar maple is less often found. Colonization. Oh, sugar, they colonize with sugar. They colonize they colonize it with the sugar. Let me see. For children ages 3 years, grains high and added sugars. Yeah, I need to read this. Yep, there's something about the children. There you go. Oh, easy, easy, easy. I'm coming back and read this for myself later. What they talking about? What they got here? Talk about sugars in Iraq. Sugars in Iraq on FDA. Uh-oh. What what the ozone got to do with sugars? Oh, the American Sugar Refinery. Oh, the air, the nitro coming out of Maryland. Oh, that did it. See? Easy. Easy. Let's go to the holy tablets. Let's go to the holy tablets. Let's go to the holy tablets. All right. Tablet 29, purification and spiritual practice. 19 times 19 equals 171. Lo, Nuwapians, Nuwabia. I am about to take you on a journey to learning the importance of purification and spiritual practice. You must always remember that you shall always take care of your spirit. And the first step is to take care of your physical body, which houses the spirit. 3 basic steps involved in spiritual practices are severely simple living, self study, surrender to El Eloi the Most High. Austerity does not mean physical abuse or severe rigors. It refers to strict control for the senses in order to conserve energy for higher pursuits. Austerity, in this sense, means fasting occasionally, rise earlier instead of sleeping late, and reduce certain physical, just one moment, certain physical comforts for the sake of greater control of the mind. What keeps the mind flowing in the desired direction? Surrendering to El Eloi, the Most High's will. One also surrenders the fruits of work performed. This is selfless, where one regards oneself as the instrument of El Eloi. And it serves humanity with no thought of either credit or blame. El Eloi does not work for you, he works with you. Ignorance is the unawareness of reality. You can't really ignore a talking and moving person. It is identification with the temporal world rather than with the imperishable self. Egoism is the I-ness and my-ness, which creates the illusion that the physical body is the real you. Likes, dislikes. When a person is swayed by feelings of attraction and aversion, he or she is identifying with the material world. And there you have why my generation, one of the number one hits for the girls that year well, one of the years in my generation, Generation X, was we are living in a material world. That had to be a hit song for the whole year that it came out. And he is setting him or herself up for pain of loss and disappointment. He or she is identifying with the material world, and he or she is setting him or herself up for the pain of loss and disappointment. Fear of death or clinging to life is binding and stiffening. None can say when death will come, for fear of death is useless imagination, a waste of energy, and it creates waves of pain which exist only in the mind. Ignorance is the cause of above mentioned afflictions which follow it, whether it be latent or weak, suppressed or aggravated. The suffering which comes from egoism, attractions, repulsions, and fear of death all stem from ignorance. And fear of death all stem from ignorance. Regardless of the degree in which they manifest, as the root of the other obstacles, ignorance of the true nature of the self is identification with the body and mind. When ignorance is replaced by enlightenment, all other causes of pain automatically disappear. When in a state of ignorance, if an enocyte makes mistakes what is mundane for what is supreme, he or she cannot differentiate differentiate between that which will bring pain to mind and body and that which will bring immortality. Egoism is manifest when the individual cannot distinguish his or herself from his or her senses and mind. He or she sees him or herself as separate from the rest of the enocyte, reacting to others with a sense of competition rather than cooperation. Attraction is that which dwells on pleasure. Most think of attraction and pleasure as positive things, but when associated with objects of the material world, they inevitably bring pain. Nothing in the physical world is permanent. Hence, the constant fear of loss, and loss itself keeps those from seeking pleasure in an unhappy state. This is why the spiritual person learns to cultivate a dislike for worldly pleasures. In the event, he or she is never disappointed or unhappy. The result, ironically, is that by not seeking pleasure, he or she is always happy. Just as attraction brings pain, so does aversion. The mental attitude of aversion is a negative one, and it often make a neutral situation appear as if it were one to be avoided. It is not possible to avoid all distasteful circumstances. When there are likes and dislikes, a person cannot be happy. He or she is dwelling on illusory pairs of opposites. Rather than learning to be content in all situation and surrendering to El Eloy's plan for his or her growth, fear of death is the continuous desire to live, which is rooted even in the minds of the wise. The fear of death is the fear of the loss of identity. or letting go of the ego. Even when all else is given up, there is still the clinging to life. When these various afflictions are a minor distraction to the aspirant, they can be merged back into their cause by substituting the opposite mental modifications. For example, if egotistical thoughts arise, they can be combated by focusing on the all and you being a part of a much greater love. You should have been there 10,000 years. I don't know. I wasn't here. It was written before I got here. But I know that love conquers all. Love conquers all. When you learn to love them that hate you, uh, when you learn to love them that hate you, I'm telling you, love will things that you want and desire begin to happen. I'm a living witness. I am a living witness. The more I love, when like on a day like today, on a day like today, I could have let and allowed all types of energies and memories to come back and bombard my mind to make me feel hatred. Uh, yeah, today, King Ellis is my daughter that was taken from me. They had her prepared to take from me from while she was in the womb, as I fought and asked and begged them to not put me on that medication, huh? They forced me to take the medication, huh? They said we won't release you out of this place until you gonna take the medication. We gonna make sure we do amniocentesis every time we get a chance to make sure you taking that medication, huh? And made me go through hoops, huh? And then prepared she was supposed to be born the same on my grandmother's who's still alive on her birthday, huh? And they did a what you call it, uh planned the C-section the day before, which is today, because they wanted to make sure. And one of the doctors told me that I got a New Year's Eve party to attend. But because she was born with so many defects, they had already seen the defects at my 4th month. Uh, as they continued researching and developing on me. Uh, and all those high surgeons and specialists all through University of Miami research, and the great doctors and all that they had. They said, "Yep," and not only that, we you gonna go to court soon as you ain't gonna be completely even healed from your stitches. We're putting in a petition to take her from you. uh, yes, they did, but she had her heart was. Oh, what side is your heart on, King Ellis? Her heart is on the other side, and then she didn't have a navel. She didn't have no stomach muscles. You could see right umphalicele intestines. Mm. And usually this time of year, I would feel all type of. But you know what I feel, huh? You know what I feel? I love those that hated me, huh? I love those that hated me. uh, and every roadblock that I come to, this make me love more and more. And you know what's happening? The system is crumbling every day that I open my eyes. God is keeping his promises to me. Uh, Oh, that I'm not gonna every number that I call, every time I go to searching everything that has happened that blocks me from connecting with her and even knowing whether she is dead or alive. Uh, God is keeping his promises to me. Mm, he's keeping his promises to me. And love is how it is done. Love is how it is accomplished. And I'm confirmation to that on the smallest scale, on a micro scale, King Ellis. If anybody was to go through from the beginning, I know it's a couple of beings, I won't say no names, that used to be in discord but if you can remember when I came through and I said, yeah, I want to tell my story, huh? But I want to see the system fail. And I didn't know all I had to do was believe and know, huh? Go from state to state, state to state, go from belief to knowing that all love, huh? Love conquers all. Hmm? Anyways, let's go. Let me continue. The mental plane can be far more devastating. Is that where I left off? Oh, no, that's not where I left off. Lower planes refer to life's experience or by thoughts, words, deeds, pleasure plane, fruit. Nope. I'm going to go back to 76. If I'm rereading, then hey, I just had to take a break and say that. For example, if egotistical thoughts arise, they can be combated by focusing on the all, you being a part of a much greater love. If feelings of attraction or avoidance into the mind, then contentment or acceptance can be substituted. If the afflictions are overt and there is a great distraction to the mind, they can be alleviated through regular meditation and prayer. The law of fate states, oh, happy birthday, Wilhelmina. Your breath gave me life. Your breath gave me life. And your breath comes from the Most High. And you existed before the foundations of all this man-made stuff. If the afflictions are avert, and there is a great distraction to the mind, they can be alleviated through regular meditation and prayer. The law of fate states that every action brings about an equal and opposite reaction. Whatever is done to others will return to the doer, and most people are continually creating new fatal situations. This is due to ignorance and its accompanying afflictions. Before final emancipation, all depths of fate must be worked out. Whether one decides to do so in the present life or in the form of hell or on lower planes, which were referred to as hell, each must reap what he or she sows. Various life experiences are due to the situations of fate that has earned him or her by his or her thoughts, words, and deeds. They have pleasure or pain as their fruit. According to whether there is virtue or vice, overstanding this, the spiritual person strives to do only agreeable actions. and to accept peacefully the ill that comes his or her way, so that all his or her deeds, so that all his or her seeds of fate are burned, and now new ones are sown. Violence to others, whether in thought or word or deed, must be avoided. Non injury means it. See, where this right here, let me show you. Violence to others, whether in thoughts or words or deed, must be avoided. When you replace that, vengeance is God's, vengeance is mine, saith the Lord. You remove yourself from situations that where you could be violent if things arise. My bestie said, I'm so proud of you. I didn't know you would have been able to do it in a meeting that took place for something that occurred in 2018, that in my mind, if I had seen the person, you know, physically at those times before I changed and transitioned and was born again, I probably would have ended up in prison. Uh, and after being born again and accepting the love and light code that was placed in my DNA and activating it, I was able to have that meeting and not feel a thing but love. Huh? If love and pity, that's what happens when you actually, that's why no, I ain't gonna go to these other situations on the in the plane of the media. I'm just stick to what's me, my um confirmations. Um when you replace love over the hate, you say, I love those that hate me, right? You remove yourself. You remove yourself from the situation. You remove your the negativity that could cause the explosion. It's kind of hard. No, it's not hard to explain. It's just, let me continue. Let me continue. And understanding this, the spiritual person strives to do only agreeable actions and to accept peacefully the ill that comes his or her way, so that all his or her seeds of fate are burned and new ones are sown. Violence to others, whether in thought, word, or deed, must be avoided. Non injury means more than refraining from inflicting physical pain. Mental pain can be far from devastating. And when one is established in complete harmlessness, even wild animals will approach in peace. My grands, we were walking up the hill a few weeks ago, and some of the dogs were out. And my grand started, and I said, you don't have to fear them. And so my granddaughter realized, I said, no, they're not gonna bother us. I don't care how they hold back that chain, they're not gonna bother us. You don't worry about it. You're protected. You don't have to fear anything. So as we go on down, and they realize, it's like, oh, okay, so grandma, my granddaughter, she's like, you not scared of dogs? I said, if a dog do run up on me, I'm gonna punch it right in the nose. So when her mom come and they try to get to the car, there's two dogs, and my daughter was like, "That's a strange dog. Or do you know this dog right here?" And I couldn't see the dog. The dog was standing behind the car. She didn't want to get out the car, but her camera was showing the dog behind the car. I said, "Oh, so some dog back there trying to be slick and okay." So I just start walking to. She said, "Where you going?" "I'm going to talk to the dog. I'm going to talk to the dog because I ain't scared of no dogs. I'm not scared of dogs. I done walked out and seen packs of dogs in this little wooded area. When they know you're not scared, they I'm not scared of no dogs. No." So I go to the thing and he gonna stand and like get ready to do his up at me. I say, "Who you think you stand?" And he ran off. Like I did the little jump I like to do. I did the little jump I like to do. I'm not scared of dogs. I don't like dogs like that anyway. I mean, I see them and I see people with their dogs and it's like, okay, but I don't like dogs to a point. So because I don't like them, huh, I know how to love them. I just felt like I tell that story that the even the animals have a respect for you. Even the animals that have a certain respect for you. The function of truth is to maintain harmony through trust. It is better to be silent than to tell a truth that will cause pain or that springs from a wrong motive. A truthful person has power for what he or she says comes to pass. I just Should I just stop right there? I think I'm going to stop right there. I just want to end on 99. I really want to end on it. I just want to end on 99, but I'm not. I'm not going to do that. That's too much like honest, huh? A truthful person has power for what he or she says comes to pass. And his own words becomes law. Cleanliness also extends to the mind. Only when the mind is purified of all things can it be a pure mirror for clear reflections. Laughter comes from stimulation, but a smile comes from inner peacefulness. And I would love to show my face, but you could hear a person smiling. My mother said that. She said, "I can always hear when you're smiling." I didn't know you could hear when a person is smiling until my mother told me that. You could hear a smile. Laughter comes from stimulation, but a smile comes from inner peacefulness. Satisfied with itself, the mind needs nothing else for its contentment. Let somebody with a negative mind hear that. You know, they'll start thinking about the Joker. The Joker always had a smile on his face, ain't it? The Joker always got a smile on his face. But a smile comes from inner peacefulness. Satisfied with itself, the mind needs nothing else for its contentment, which it grows in proportion to awareness of the inner self. The mind should not be affected by external objects. They may be possessed, but with detachment. Do not let them possess the mind. Austerity means curtailing the insatiable demands of the senses. Drink water instead of bad drinks. Practice silence instead of talking loud. Control greed. counteract sleep by getting up early. When the mind learns that its demands for pleasure will not be met through the senses, it stops its useful or useless wandering and turns inward. Control of the senses clears the way for such powers as telepathy, clairvoyance, study of spiritual works, and the holy tablets help keep a person on the right path. The book alone, however, can only take one so far, and it can lead to intellectual pride. Surrender to the will of El Eloi, the Most High, is necessary for ultimate everything depends upon His grace. When negative or harmful thoughts disturb the mind, they can be overcome by constant pondering over their opposites. One must be ever alert, always watching the mind. When useless thought waves arise, immediately replace them with positive thoughts, thus creating new mental habits that are conducive to spiritual growth. Negative thoughts and emotions such as violence, whether committed, abetted, or caused through greed, anger, or delusion, and whether present in mild, medium, or great intensity, result in endless pain and ignorance. Thus, there is a necessity for pondering over the opposites. All thoughts, emotions, and actions that are in opposition to righteousness bring about the fate of further pain and ignorance. This is true whether the action is actually carried out, remains in thought form, or is incited in others. Whatever the cause, whatever the degree of involvement, fate is still incurred. This is why it is necessary to substitute positive subliminal thoughts the moment negative ones are caught arising in the mind. One who is firmly rooted in nonviolence, this radiates this conviction to others. He or she is so powerful that not even violent thoughts can exist in his or her presence. The more a spiritual person flees from material objects, the more they seem to come to the inner sight. The purpose of this natural law is twofold. The first is so that he or she may be tested and confirmed, we are confirmation, in his or her renunciation. The second is that he or she, as a wise person, may appropriately dispense the wealth to benefit an Enocyte. An Enocyte is ever searching for happiness in external objects, but it can only be attained when the mind is satisfied with what has been allotted and is no longer looking for the attainment. When the mind is stilled and contented, happiness is automatic. When austerities, self-imposed disciplines are practiced, great will is developed, and the abilities of his or her physical body and senses are extended beyond what is considered normal. Only by surrendering one's will, one's ego, one's life to El Eloi, the superconscious state attained. The reality of an object is due to the uniqueness of change. Each object on the material plane can be identified and called a reality because it is made up of its own unique combination of the three primary colors, red, yellow, and blue. An object is not dependent on one's mind, for it still exists whether or not it is perceived by the mind. The soul absorbs all of the changes through in which the mind goes because it is the external witness. All true knowledge exists permanently in the self. while the mind is constantly being modified by thought waves. While the mind is constantly being modified by thought waves, the mind is something that can be observed as an object and not the source of knowledge, just as Kingu, or called Sheshki, and Lunar, which you call the moon, is not a source of light, but a reflection of Shamash, the sun. I cannot perceive two things at once. Shamash. Shamash. That's Shamash, not Shah. The Shamash. It cannot perceive two things at once, even though thoughts are formed in a split second. Still, only one thought form exists in the mind at one time. So it is possible for the mind to be perceiving itself while it perceives something else. If one mind could perceive another, then there would be cognition, awareness of cognition, as well as confusion of memory. Tablet 30, about the mind. 19 times 4 equals 76. Lo, the mind can neither perceive itself nor perceive another mind. For if this were the case, there would be complete confusion of the knowledge and the memory of the different minds. The mind is but an instrument. All knowledge come from beyond it, from the mental. Knowledge of itself comes through self-cognition, which occurs when the mind is stilled. The explanations that the mind cannot perceive itself, the mind is stilled, and it is allowed perception of itself through the right knowledge gained by the self is then also known by the mind. It is then that the mind has full knowledge. Obviously, then, it is not intellectualization but meditation that brings self knowledge. Mind, though filled with innumerable tendencies and desires, acts for the self, for they act in conjunction. Mind is directly associated with the self, so it acts for the self, while it is still full of worldly thoughts. Through discrimination, one could clearly understand that the soul and mind are not the same. The world is full of avarice, hypocrisy, flattery, untruth, double dealing, and selfishness. And those who profess to be friends are often one's greatest enemies. Beware of self proclaimed friends who came for money and other comforts. When circumstances are affluent, then they disappear when the tide has turned. These fair weather friends give their own brand of advice. They waste precious time in useless chatter and pull one off the spiritual path and down to their level. Of course, most people don't like to think that this is true. Most would like to feel that their relationship is based on the fear of being alone and the desire for diversion. One should cut off connections that are not beneficial, and they should not trust only the inner voice that dwells in one's heart. Associate only with those own aspirations for perfection are uplifting and encouraging. Associate only with those own aspirations for perfection are uplifting and encouraging. Useless talking and excessive debating should also be eliminated. Diarrhea of the tongue wastes much energy that could be utilized for personal development. Too much talking makes a person restless, just like a tape recorder. It cannot record and play at the same time. A person cannot talk and learn at the same time. The wise speak only a few words and then only when necessary, for by their very economy they will carry the most force. To help calm, center, and discipline the mind, silence can be observed for about 2 hours daily, in addition to the time spent in meditation. In order to be the most practical in order to be of the most practical value, silence is best practice at those times where there is most opportunity to talk. People of an intellectual nature are often prone to unnecessary decision and controversies. A person who is unable to remain quiet easily becomes involved in heated debates, too many of which leads to enmity, hostility, and energy drain. When intellectual reasoning, which is normally concerned only with investigation of the physical plane, it is used for metaphysical inquiry. It can lead the student to the threshold of intuition. Past this point, however, it is of no use of transcendent, transcendental matters that are beyond the reach of reason. One must give up arguing and become silent and look within. Fault finding is likewise a most detrimental habit. The mind of a person who is always poking his or her nose into the affair of others is always outgoing and out of control. One can be introspective when the mind is engaged in activity of this sort. Diligent application of spiritual practice allows no time for managing the affairs of others. Forget the shortcomings of other people, and you must work to improve yourself first. Life is precious and short. No one knows when it will be taken away. Every minute should be used for much higher purposes than gossiping and judging others. Self justification is another behavioral weakness to be overcome, along with its associated characters: self assertion, obstinacy, dissimulation, and lying. Once these weaknesses become established in the framework of the personality, it is very difficult to eliminate them, for the ego never admits to its own faults. One lie covers another, an endless succession of vain attempts at self justification. That song by that lady Sherry Shelley, Lamb Chop. Tell one lie, then you gotta tell another. The lie you tell, someone will discover, and you will be. So I can't remember the rest of the song, but my first husband used to love singing that. He loved lamb chops. He would get a sock and pretend it was lamb chops when he would be singing these songs and teaching my daughter. We did it together, but his favorite show with her was lamb chops. Improvements could come quickly and rapidly only when one learns to readily admit his or her faults, mistakes, and weaknesses. To have a pretty mind is closely associated with backbiting. No, not pretty. Back up. To have a petty mind is closely associated with backbiting and trying to pull down other people. All are caused by jealousy and ignorance. This can easily be combated by and eradicated by always rejoicing in the welfare of others. Uh-oh. Let's see, said the blind man. Let's see. Mm, do I want to come back later? Gosh, time sure flies when you're having fun. Time sure flies when you're having fun. I remember when I first used to be in the community, I used to be quoting Face Off, John Travolta, "I'm not having any fun." And that's when I used to always just be involved all up in everybody chat. Now I barely be in anybody's except for a few every now and then. I be doing my own thing, learning more about how I am a confirmation to the Most High. And I noticed that more and more um, I do this, I am having so much fun that the time flies. Time has flied. I see how people end up getting addicted and sitting 10 hours talking to themselves. Uh, I used to say, how could they could sit here all this time? But guess what? I used to be sitting right down there in the chat. If they be up there 5 hours, I used to be 5 hours in the chat, just rambling and going on and on and on. I still like to be in the chats, but I'm more quiet in the chats now. Now I just sit back. I do more observing than anything. Uh, I do more observing. But this was one of those. I'm going to stop right here. Um, Fun days. Uprooting the ego is where I'll be coming next. Uprooting the ego. Uprooting the ego. On the term ego, I did a video where it shows the E. I have that we're locked in the E. And that E energy or E frequency, they attempted to lock us in the E. And I found out that E um, in Greek was HE all along. So they locked us in their E frequency. And then they can use the term, because we know that if this isn't the original language or the original language, I was not spelled E-Y-I, E-Y-E. Why did they spell it E-Y-E? And that's why I have that Y chromosome in the middle of the two E's. While they've been looking for their missing link all this time, doing all type of research and development and all, they had our Y chromosome locked in the E frequencies that they've been distributing and pushing out. And that's why they spell I-Y-E with the Y chromosome in the middle and the E on the other side. And they are about to release it because they are preparing for war. We don't have to go to war with them because vengeance is mine, saith the one true and living God above all God. And he's keeping his promises. He's keeping his promises to me. I don't know about you, but he's going to keep his promises to me. All right? And I hope you enjoy what he has to offer. Be born again. Turn away from the things that the world has to offer. Be ye separate from the world. They have a whirlwind of tycoon olam ceremonies and all that is being revealed. Again, this message is going out to Elon Musk. You too can be saved. You could be born again. Deny yourself. Put down your cross, your ex. Put down your ex and follow him. Greater light. Greater light. Which one I wanna put out here? Which song? Which one? Which one? Which one? Oh, maybe some Get Right Church and Let's Go Home. Hoo-hoo.
Nothing but the righteous shall see God. Gotta live, holy, gotta live right. If you wanna meet Jesus in the aisle, get right,
Get right,
church, let's go
let's
home.
go
I'm going
home.
home. God is on the way. I'm going home. God is on the way. I'm going home. I'm going home. I'm going home. God is on the way. You better get right. Get right, church, and let's go home.
Your body is a temple of the Holy Spirit.
Let's go home. Get right, church. Get right, church. Get right,
Get
church.
right, church, and let's go home.
Stoic behavior. Forward reverse, Chemistry savior. Unique verse, Archimedes. Ark of the covenant. Angels, angel of non-compete covenants. Archaic cave wars. God, my God, course. Z and Zion. My God, horrors. My God, next to us. My God, now God do it. Oh, you accusers, one wants an iron door, you accuser, one wants to buy a clone. I wanna be ready, I got to be ready. Get right, church, and let's go home. You better get it right. He's coming,
He's coming,
he's coming,
he's coming,
he's coming, let's go home. He's coming,
he's coming,
he's coming,
he's coming,
he's coming,
he's coming.
he's coming, let's go home. Nothing but the righteous shall see God. Gotta live, holy, gotta live right. If you wanna meet Jesus in the aisle, get right, church, and let's go home. I'm going home. God is on the way. I'm